Hey guys, welcome everyone. Welcome to the English version of the GOLOS Hangout, or rather, a GOLOS Hangout in English. It's not weekly anymore, and it's not on Fridays anymore, which might result in seeing much fewer people. But let's hope that someone joins us. If not, then we'll have it nice and quiet and quick. We will recap on what happened in the past 2 weeks, or rather about a week and a half, about 10 days since we last spoke in English. So let's go over that very quickly before we jump on to anything else. And basically, the biggest news, obviously, is that the ICO now is over. The share drop and the ICO tokens, the distribution has been done. It's finished. When did it finish? Let me tell you. It finished 2 days ago. Well, a bit less in hours terms, but let's say 2 days ago. What else happened since then? Well, last time we met, we had quite a few questions. There were just general questions about GOLOS, about our monetary policy, and about our plans in general. Nothing really special or nothing out of that blows the mind away. Since then, we had quite a few hangouts. We hold them almost daily. Every now and again, we have an off day. We had a few open mic hangouts in which we discussed a few clubs, a few hangouts that we spoke about our economy on, about witnesses. We even had a hangout especially for girls, where we only had only girls join a hangout and no boys allowed. And also we had two ICO special hangouts in which we spoke about what actually went during the ICO and what happened. And I can't say that there were no surprises. There were some surprises which I will go over quickly now. Let me just close and do a share screen here so you guys see what I'm talking about. Okay, basically this is my share screen. And what can we see here? It's in Russian, which is great. We can see that the crowd sale is finished with 600 bitcoins collected overall, and the amount of people invested is just under 10,000. Let me recap it. 9,569 accounts. Okay, but how did that happen? Because if any of you follow the ICO, until the last day, there was 300 bitcoins and about 300 accounts roughly. Well, what happened is on the last day, a company called Business Modest in Russia, which is a company that is related to young and not so young businessmen that gather together and learn about how to do business. They decided to invest 300 bitcoins. We can see here some big investments like 30 BTC and 14 BTC from them, but mainly their investment was divided to all of those 10,000 accounts, almost 10,000 accounts. And the person who was in charge of this was one of our top investors. It's a guy called Roman. His nickname is Sinner again. And he spoke on one of the hangouts about this. He said that basically it was a deal done in the last second, and that's what happened. I mean, if you guys have any questions about it, I'll be happy to answer. What else? As I said, the ICO now is over, and you can see in your accounts the share drop that you had if you were eligible for a share drop from Steam. Well, probably if you're an English speaker, you were at 99.9% of that. So you can see that, and plus, apart from that, you can see if you have invested in the ICO itself, you will see the tokens as well. All of the tokens are in GOLOS power, which is equivalent to Steam power. There was no liquid tokens in the ICO or in the share drop. And in this post from Litvin Tech, which is our blockchain guy, here's the picture of the guys pressing the enter button for distribution. There is an Excel file Let me just open it quickly, and we can see all the transactions here. So if anybody wants to check whether they got the right amount or anything like that, they can see. Okay, it is in Russian, but basically what you should be worried about is your nickname, amount in BTC, and here is the last basically column is the amount in GOLOS. Okay, so this is basically what you should be worried about. If you are worried about it, if you want to check it, if you do want to check it, drop me a note and I will send you that link once again. You know what? Let me go like that. Let me just copy that. I know it's in Russian, but I'm sure you guys to open the file, the Excel file, and get a hang of it. 2 seconds. Let me just drop it on YouTube. Yes, I will link it here as well, Maghat. I'll drop the link to the actual post at the end. There is a link, right? I will show it again now. At the very end. Okay, you know what? Let me do it as you said. Let me link to the actual spreadsheet. I think you're right. It'll be easier for people. Why is it not linking? Yeah, it's linking. Okay, let me just link it to YouTube as well. Okay, that should be easier for people to get a hang like that. Okay, what else can we see? What other news we had since then? Well, apart from the distribution and the big investment from this one company, which actually doubled the ICO amount in BTC and whatever is, my math is quite bad. I don't know what's 10,000 accounts to 300. I can't be asked to count now. Multiply the amount of accounts that were involved in it. That's actually pretty much all the news. We can see that the voting has changed. We can see slightly different amounts. Of course, the amounts are not in USD, they're in rubles here. And let me just remind you that we don't pay in rubles, we pay in gold, in what is equivalent to 1 milligram of gold. But you can choose in your settings in your account. Here you open the one before last is your settings. You can first of all choose English here, so everything will be in English. And second of all, you can see in which currency you would like it to display the amount for posts. So mine is in rubles, but you can choose USD over here, which would be easier probably for some of you. Or I think we have euros here as well. Yeah, we have euros as well. So that should be easier for some of you guys. Well, that's pretty much it. I think I will see what you guys, if anybody has any questions. Yeah, hey everybody, I've been speaking since I'm not shutting up. If anybody has any questions, you guys are welcome to just drop them in. Yes, everybody's shy today. How's the mood, Maghat? Well, mood is good. Excellent, I would say. We've been speaking about the hard fork. We came to a conclusion that we would like to test it first on our test nets because we still haven't had our payouts. So we are a bit afraid to launch it, like let's say now, and in case something happens and somebody will not receive the correct payout. So we'll test it first. If everything is fine, then we will launch it after the first payout. The first payout is the 17th of January, I think. Yeah, virtual growth. Yeah, we will do a couple of tests. So we'll make, because we are still on 14. Since then there was a 15 and a 16th version. So we will test that a couple of times. If everything is okay, we will still go only after the first payout because that's much better in our opinion. Also, we discussed the. I don't know if you guys know, but we have said it previously, and I think I've mentioned it on the English Hangouts before, that what did we collect the BTC for development? 70% of it will go to development of what was collected. 10% is payment to the initial investor, the cyber fund. 10% is the Steemit Inc. share, and 10% is going to the founders. So 70% of what was collected will go to development fund. It will be controlled by, well, for now it's still controlled by the founders. Let's see how it will be controlled in the future. And basically a team will be hired that will be responsible for managing everything. The team will most likely be consisted of an marketologist, a C++ programmist, a full stack developer, and a front end developer, and a project manager. So 5 people, and we will have that news ready in 2 days roughly. What will be the final look of that team? What's the question here? Will the new GOLOS hard fork post initial payout include some of the elements from the Steam hard fork number 16? Let me just read it again. Will the new GOLOS hard fork post the initial payout? After the initial include some of the elements. Yeah, that's it. It will. The thing is, we want to include all of the elements from number 16. And the reason we don't want to do it before the first payout is because we are afraid that it will cause some trouble in the payout. That's why we will do it after. What will GOLOS be doing to support non-Russian speakers, users, or simplify translation between English and Russian? This is a funny question, considering that the reason why GOLOS was created was one of the reasons GOLOS was created was because of the division. Well, I know this kind of sounds harsh, what I will say next, but I want to explain what I'm going to say. Well, first of all, we did create GOLOS for Russian speakers, but we are not. We are, we want other speakers to be part of it as well. Yeah, as somebody says here in the comments, best take it slow and steady. Oh, you were talking about your question, but this goes for both things, yeah. First of all, we have done an internal English translation, so you can go to your settings and have all the let me just go over here again. You choose English over here, and then everything will be in English. Not all the posts, yeah, but all the buttons, all the front end will be in English. Obviously, that's one of the things. What else? Well, for now, really, that's it. I don't know if we plan anything else, but we must welcome everybody to come out with ideas and say, you know what, guys, if you want English speakers to be present on your platform, then you should do this and this, or I don't know, maybe you should do this and that. So maybe if any one of you has any ideas, then we surely will think and maybe take them on. Is your strategy to become better than Steemit, or just follow the leader with Russian language? Well, obviously our strategy is to become better, but our strategy is our strategy is to become better, but our idea, or let's say the greater thought behind everything, is to work together. It's not to work separate. It's to be a big team, and to have everything, to do things together, to share the hard times and the good times. I don't know how else can I say that or explain that. Yeah, I would love to see sub GOLOS implemented as well. And it's one of our main thing, Magad. It's the thing we're really striving towards. I know that Dennis is working on one of them already. I'm not gonna say anything yet because nothing is ready, but I know he's working. If he wants to say, then he will say. Is there a pie chart about distribution somewhere? Yes, there is. Steemit was terribly distributed from day one, giving the two founders 80% to my. Yes, there is actually, Nagano. Let me think where I can find it quickly. I think on the wiki it will be the quickest. It's in Russian, obviously. Well, you know what? I think forget about that. I think you can just, the easiest thing is if you go to the Explorer, golosd.com, which is like steamd.com, but golosd.com, and everything is in English here. It's not been translated yet. So you press distribution. Let me just do that for us, and my computer will think, or rather my internet will think for a while. My computer is all right these days. Okay, let it think for a while, and then basically you just follow the same thing as you did with Steam, and okay, here it is. Okay, first of all, we can see the initial distribution here. Okay, it's not an initial distribution. This distribution after the ICO has been done. Okay, we can see straight away that it's not exactly the most fair distribution. In fact, it's a very unfair distribution as far as I'm seeing this. But I'm happy to see that since day one, it's not 80%, it's not 90% as it was in Steam, it was 68% over here over the legend status. And as far as I remember correctly, the super users and the heroes didn't have anything since day one, and Steam, the only, it was happening slowly and gradually. So we can see a slightly better distribution. I hope that it keeps that way and keeps on distributing. Obviously, there were no payouts, so everybody who's writing content now and is, accumulating the GOLOS or their R shares or whatever you want to call it, they will get a fair share as well, and we will see users and super users will get more. So I think it's fair and nice to see that we have 10,000 dolphins since day one, which is a very, very nice number. I do have to say, though, I mean, I do have to be fair. And if I go to golosd.com, and I'm not going to hide anything here, we can see that if we go to the richest accounts, we can see that Steemit is number 3. So, because it did get a fair bit of the 10% share drop. Obviously, with it having a very large stake, it got about 4% of the share of the 10% share drop that was done to Steemit. The first 2 accounts are technical. Then we have investors and investors and investors. Okay, we can see Val here, which I think everybody knows who that is, but his share here is not something he got from Steam. It's what he invested in GOLOS separately, so it's nothing to do with that, with his Steam share. Then again, all of those accounts are investors, everything that we see here. So up to, I don't know, even this account, Satoshi GOLOS, is an investor as well, because it's an investor from Satoshi Fund. So the distribution is better, but again, it's not fantastic, and it needs much more work. Okay, here's the secret link to first sub GOLOS. Dennis has posted it, so you guys can have a look at it. It's in the chat. Siski in Russian means boobs. So the hint is to have more, how to say that, more entertaining content, rather than, because we don't want to mix up sort of content with the developers write and writers write, and the more entertaining content that will probably come with people that want to post stuff about, I don't know, maybe somebody wants to post a video he saw today on NSFW content. Yes, I didn't want to say that, but there we go. Yeah, so it's a separate circle. Keep separate circles, yes. But it is popular, and especially in Russia, that kind of content is popular. And by the way, yes, and SFW is not disabled in GOLOS, so it's working in GOLOS as well. But we do want to divide it. So subdivisions are really important for us. I think that that company who invested 300 bitcoins, I'm pretty sure that they will want to sub GOLOS as well. They will probably want a client of their own. So I think alcohol prohibition is pretty much okay with the main client, but I'm sure depends what kind of pictures you want to have there. Yeah, hey Anatoly. Yes, Anatoly is a big fan of the Siski sub client as well. He's one of the developers as well. Yeah, Siski means boobs, so let's keep it to boobs. But jokes aside, that kind of content is popular, and to see it on the main client would be really silly. So instead of, there is an old saying, if you can't if you can't beat them, join them. So instead of we're gonna join them, we'll join them to us. So we'll make them a separate client and let them have their fun on there. So I don't see anything bad in that. In fact, I see that client is developing much quicker than the initial client, because unfortunately people, that's the kind of content they like. So we can't stop that from happening. Apart from that, of course, it's not the only sub client we will develop. We will develop much more than that, and there is a need for many more clients, and that's what we want to do. You need to allow fragmentation inside the system if you want the system to fragment. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's it. That's how to say that. Bull on the target. You know, it's exactly what we mean. Yeah, to prevent. Yeah. Okay. What else, guys? I don't know. Ask any questions, and I'll be ready to answer because I think that that's pretty much all the news. You're welcome to do it with your mic off, by the way. You don't have to write them. You can, speak up if you want. I see Discord is being a bit. I'm not seeing any of our usual English-speaking guys today because I think everybody's expecting this to be on Friday, and unfortunately, we decided to move it to, I guess, a less comfortable day, Wednesday night. But maybe really we should move it to Friday. Let's think about it. Magad, yes, like I said, we spoke about adopting the hard fork already. We will test it first. If the tests go through okay, then we will adopt it after the first payout. Yeah, so no probs. But first we want to test it because we're not sure how it will affect the chain. Any other questions, guys? I'm sure some of you invested. I think any good bounties available. There is a few. I can't remember all of them now. I think work and bounties. Well, you know what? Let me answer one by one. Bounties wise, there are a few available. I can't remember all of them on top of my head. One of them is breaking the publicly and then publicly explaining how you did it, the GOLOS account. Then another one is finding any major bugs in the economics and actually explaining them publicly as well. Then what other bounties did we have? I think that's pretty much it for now. But I mean, if you find anything else which is major, then how much goes for bug report? Well, it has to be something major. It can't be just a small bug that you find. It has to be. I'm talking about economical bugs. Something like which is crucial to the system itself. I think it's 25,000. But Dennis, am I correct? Is it 25,000 or am I mistaken here? I can't remember really, guys. We can check it. And you know what? Let me go on. I know exactly. In fact, I wrote it a while ago in English, and so okay, there we go. There are 3 types of bounties: for fixing critical mistakes on the blockchain, for fixing the web client bugs. Again, this has to be critical. For finding critical mistakes in the website infrastructure itself. So we're talking about vulnerabilities. And we're talking about infrastructural vulnerabilities as well. Sorry, I can't. Okay, it's 22,500 GOLOS. There we go. Like I said, you can break, for example, into the GOLOS account, and then if you explain how you did it, you can actually take that bounty as well, which is the same. Then, for example, if I'm not mistaken, we paid the bounty to Annex, I think it was, who found some kind of a mistake on the testnet, I think it was. Then there was a bounty to Penguin, which wasn't in the list, but it was for something to do with the mining. Good bounties for finding good bugs, valuing them proportionally makes sense. Yeah. Then what else? Work for GOLOS. Well, you know what? This is kind of a tricky question because we spoke about it literally a few hours ago with the guys, and there was a question whether we we want to see English-speaking people in our team. We do, but this person has to speak Russian as well, because from personal experience, for example, again, now I'm speaking only for myself now. What I will say next, this is only my own opinion. It's really difficult when somebody doesn't understand the language that everything is going in, and then you have to translate it for them as well when you work on the same team. And for example, if you're a C++ programmer and you're working on the team that works for GOLOS, and you don't, and again, a programmer is a programmer in any language, but our main communication within the team will be done in Russian. So it will make a lot of boundaries, and there will be a lot of bridges that will have to be built in between those people to connect them. Again, this is only my personal opinion. I know that a few other people see it differently. So if you are a C++ developer, or if you're an marketologist who is good with analytics and making triggers and developing different channels, or if you're a full stack developer, then you can contact me, for example, and we will speak, but not on here, not live. You can contact me in private messages, or in Steam chat, or in Golos chat, whatever. It doesn't matter. But you can tell me if this is anything that I'm talking about. Again, we will have on the way. For example, we were speaking at first about hiring a designer as well. Then we decided that the designer we don't need to hire, and as we go, we will have bounties for him, or like kind of one-off payouts, one-time payouts. I'm sure that there will be other things as well that we will need in the future, which I can't think of now. We don't want to make a team bigger than 5 people at the moment. In fact, our dream team, let's say so, was consistent of 4 people, but we decided to make it 5 for now. Again, though that news will be only delivered to Golos tomorrow, and the community can actually vote against everything that I'm saying now. So if everybody votes against everything that I'm saying, then it won't happen. Then it will be different. Then we'll be thinking of a different way to do it. This is the way that we are thinking of now, and if everything is okay, then we will go that way. So to answer your question, work for Golos, yes, but contact me and we will speak about it. That's kind of that's the answer. Okay, any other questions, guys? Okay, I don't see anyone on YouTube. I'm sure you guys have more questions. Last time you were more lively, everybody. That was I learned Russian for the motherland. Yeah, sure. We have a lot of guys that you have Arkanaj, and Arkanaj is crazy with Russian. I was surprised. Of course he's using Google Translate, but sometimes he's commenting everything, and he's doing it in Russian. He's doing it crazy style. So it's really great to see somebody who's actually who's committed to that. For example, because I know that Russian is a really difficult language. I mean, I speak Russian with terrible mistakes. So, and especially I write Russian with terrible mistakes. So it's a different story altogether, but whatever. And Russian is a really difficult language, but I don't think you actually have to learn it, to participate in the platform itself, or to receive bounties. In fact, so far, the people who received bounties, I don't think any one of them was Russian-speaking person. I think all the 2 or 3 people so far received bounties, and all of them were Abit received the bounty as well. I think it was him who found the initial mistake in the code, was something to do with the amount of vests, or rather jests as we call them in Golos, and they didn't work out, and it crashed the whole system, and he found that mistake in the code, and he received a bounty for that as well. So in fact, everybody who received the bounty so far, as far as I remember, they were English speaking people. So what else? Well, again, I'm waiting for your questions, guys. Okay, we have no questions. Okay, that's good. Then if we have no questions, and we are a few, so let's kind of wrap it up. I think we'll have it short today, short and quick. Any stats on traffic? You know what? Good question. In fact, I did a post today on Golos. Let me find it.
Серега, you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, man.
I don't. It's not a question. It's kind of like say ask, like request from myself. If you continue to make the hangouts in the Wednesday, it would be better because in Friday, for example, you have Mumble
Ah,
with
yeah, true,
Fuzzy, and
true,
it can be, let's say,
true.
cross.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay. It's
okay,
just what.
sure. Sure, no problem, no problem. You know, I'll be happy to see Fuzzy around because I mean, me and Fuzzy, we speak a lot, and I'll be really happy to see him around. I have wrote to him today, but I think I didn't I drop it to him in private. I think I dropped the message to him in general in one of our chats. Um, okay, so back to the statistics. You know, on traffic, I actually wrote a post today. This traffic, the post I wrote, it's in Russian, but I will translate it now in 2 words into English. It's over the past week. Again, this is traffic according to Google Analytics, so it's not to be taken 100% sure because Google Analytics bases its traffic on amount of visits. So, for example, in the past week we had 17,500 visits, which consisted on 6,500 users. We are seeing about 8.5 pages per visit and about 12 minutes per visit. Those two are okay. This is just the loading time and the most loaded day. The demographics or the geography, rather, right, is obviously most comes from Russia. But you know what? USA is number 4, which is all in that week. We had 481 visits to the website. Maybe it could be one user for all I know. It could be VPNs as well, but I'm sure we have people from the United States visit. For example, I know that we have quite a few people from Greece. We have 1, 2, 3 people live in Greece, so maybe these numbers are actually more or less true. I don't know. Then what else here? Okay, I mentioned here in Russian that the country that is has the most quits from website is Kazakhstan. They come and go more than others. Okay, within Russia, most people, as to be expected, come from Moscow and St. Petersburg and the Moscow region. Age-wise, we are seeing, as expected as well, 25 to 34. And male and female is 80 to 20% over the past week. Okay, this is only the past week, by the way. It's not everything. The users that spend the most time on the website are people who are aged 55 to 64, which is actually quite interesting. I didn't expect that. And people aged 18 to 24 spend the least time on the website, and they are most likely to exit on the first click as well. Then we are seeing here that we have a lot of mobile users, and a lot of them come and go. So we really do need an app. I know it's being worked on by Good Karma, so I hope it's going to be ready soon. Then here we see the traffic, where it's coming from. We are seeing that most of it is direct. So people who enter the website in the, what's it called in English, over here, in the search thingy. I don't know what's it called in English, sorry. Then we're seeing quite a few traffic from referrals, organic search. And unfortunately, though, it doesn't actually say what are the searches, the words that people search it with. I was quite upset with it. I was hoping to see what kind of words people use, and Google just says not specified, which was quite sad for me. Here I broke down the traffic into as well social networks. Obviously, Facebook and VK are number 1. All the others are not really relevant. In fact, I think, for example, YouTube is are just people who watch our show on YouTube and then click the website. Okay, 50 people and it's not 50 people, 50 visits, sorry, per week. It could be, all I know, one user. Could be myself. Only I click about 5 times. So this here we see what pages are being watched more often. Obviously the create page. This is the new equivalent to new in Steam. Hot is the equivalent to hot. ICO is the equivalent to ICO. This is the home page, the one with only the slash. Submit is submit posts. Okay, here is the map of how the users, based on where the users come from, what they do, and when they exit the website. So I will click it because I don't know if it make it bigger. I made the mistakes here of using really small pictures, and it's really stupid, and it's my fault. But okay, I remember it anyway, so I can explain it. Let me just go back here. Basically, what we can see here is that most people drop out on their first page, especially those that come from direct and from other places. People that come from Google, for example, or from Facebook, they don't drop out as quickly that people that come from direct use. Don't know why. Can't answer that. Then here we don't see. This is others, so I don't know people where people drop from. I can click that, but I have to go to Google Analytics. It will take a while. And then we see here, this is their second click on the website, third page and fourth page. So we see that people, less and less people, but actually not that bad. There is as well a breakdown by depth of pages, and I'm sure I saw that it goes to 20 plus and 25 plus over there. What else did I write here? Okay, this is a really weird graph. I don't know how to explain that. Maybe it could be because the time is set wrongly on Google Analytics. I'm not sure. But this shows amount of entries to the websites according to the time, and and it's really strange. So I don't know how to explain it, because we can see that what I would expect as most visited is actually least visited, and vice versa. So maybe the time is set wrongly on Google Analytics. I don't know. I have to check that out. Not sure. A message fuzzy in private today. And Discord, our goals. Let me just read it again. Sorry, I lost it. A message fuzzy in private about today's hangout on Steam chat and Discord. Our GOLOS articles. Okay, this is two different things. Our GOLOS articles showing up on Google search. Yes, they are. Yes, they are indexed very well. I think, and also they're indexed on Yandex, obviously, because we are a Russian-based website, so Yandex.ru for us is even more important. Any thoughts on merging GOLOS and Steemit into a single blockchain when Substeam has become reality? Yes. Yeah. We have spoken about it a few times. I think it will happen not earlier than 5 or 6 years from now, but I really do see it as happening. I really see that as, and I think it's at least for me personally. Again, I can only speak for myself, and I can only speak for another guy, Konstantin, creator, is one of the developers. We have that opinion, that dream, that one day those two things will become one single blockchain. I know, for example, that Ether is developing a thing called Polkadot. It's only only been spoken about recently, and they have about 2 years roadmap. But basically, Polkadot is something which will be able to connect separate blockchains on one single blockchain. So if you are interested in that, you can search it in Google, because I don't think I'll be able to find a link very quickly now. Just enter Polkadot or something like that, or Ethereum Polkadot into Google. I'm sure you will find it. If you don't, then drop me a message and I will try to look for that link. I want to see Russian brides on GOLOS. You know what? Why not? We actually had one guy already. You'll be laughing, but the other day we had one guy posting images of his wife and saying, "Can you please give a rating to my wife, and then he posted another one with his daughter and his wife. I said, can you please rate that one as well? So I don't know. We can see already people trading wives on Golos. I don't know if we will see any more, but you never know. You never know. Maybe I can't. You can never be sure. But basically, yes. To go back to the analytics, it's available. If anybody wants to have um, access to Google Analytics, you're welcome to contact me, and I will share an access link with you. You can enter our analytics. Obviously, you will only be able to read and analyze, and you will not be able to change any things, or you will not be able to I don't know, delete something or add something. But you are most welcome to drop me your Gmail, preferably. Yes, it's me. It's me, Nogano. Yeah, and drop me a message somewhere, Gmail, and I'll share the Google Analytics access with you. Not a problem. It's not nothing that we are hiding from anyone. Apart from that, our to go back to the traffic stats, our main idea now is to merge statistics and traffic and blockchain statistics together. So we are now, I don't know how to say it in English. I will now think about the words. Shit, I forgot how to say it in English. But basically, there is a website which allows you to pass all the data from the blockchain through it, and then it gives you a ready code, a ready trigger code, which you can use in other websites like Google Analytics and follow that. So because the statistics on Google Analytics, they are not 100%, we cannot trust them, whether we can trust the blockchain statistics for sure. So we would rather go that way, from the beginning and then into other places. Yeah, that's regarding statistics. Okay, Dennis, I can see your message, by the way. Okay, you can then tell me how to do it, because I'm not sure after the hangout, and I will do it. What else? Well, again, we're back at back at the end, so at the beginning of the end. So yeah, guys, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for your questions. I don't know if there was any questions on YouTube. Usually there is some. Today there is none. Okay, no problem. It was nice and quiet today. Let's see, 100 million market cap soon. Okay, let's hope so. We can hope for the best. I hope for both, for Steam and GOLOS, that we will see a big market cap soon. Yeah, guys, you're most welcome. Okay, guys, so I hope I'll see you in 2 weeks' time from today, which will be a Wednesday again. Probably, if not, I will tell you. And I'm excited as well to see all of you contribute, not just anyone. So yeah, see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for dropping by. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.